welcome dolls to another video. So today I am sharing my everyday 1960s makeup routine with you. I'm going to show you how I do this makeup that is pretty much my 1960s go-to. I have done a video pretty similar to this before, but I've just improved some things in this makeup routine and I really want to share them with you. I feel like there are some things that will help you achieve the perfect 1960s makeup look, and if you want to hear all of my tips and tricks, watch this video. So I brought all the makeup that I like to use in this little pouch up here. All I've done so far to kind of prep my skin was to apply some foundation and a little bit of moisturizer just underneath to have like a nicer skin feel. I feel like when it comes to 60s makeup, you always want to go for a very flawless kind of skin look. You really want to hide your imperfections as much as possible. It was all about looking very young and very doll-like. So I don't really do any contour or anything, that just wasn't popular. So all I do is to do my skincare, and then afterwards I apply some foundation, a little bit of concealer, and then I'm good to go. This is actually quite the historic moment for me because I can see I'm wearing contacts for the first time. Like the second time, but the first time in a video. Yeah, which is actually quite pleasant. So I made videos like this before, but I just want to give a little update because I have some new things that I do and that I think might be helpful if you're looking for the makeup look that I'm doing. So the first thing that I started to improve was to apply an eyeshadow base. I don't know why it took me so long to realize how helpful it is to apply this. So I just go with my fingers, have my beautiful 60s makeup mirror here, and I will just do one dot on each eyelid. I just zoomed you in because people like to tell me that they would like to see it very up close. So I hope that this is better, and I'm just applying it all over my lid basically, making sure that I get it everywhere. And then I like to let it sit for like a minute just to make sure that it really is set nicely on the lid. I actually really like this product. So when it comes to eyeshadow, there were a couple of popular looks in the 60s. I think the most popular one was white. A light blue was also often seen. But today I really just want to do the classic white because this is the one that I love to do, and I feel like it's just a good basic if you're looking for a place to start. So one of the most asked questions under my makeup videos, or basically videos where you see my face, is how to get your eyeshadow to be so white. And my number one tip is to use a Kohl Kajal eyeliner pen, something like this. These are just very, very well pigmented. This is what the tip looks like, and what I do is I just draw all the way on like my lid. Please ignore the sounds, it's my bunnies downstairs. You're going to blend this out in a little, but I'm just gonna line out everywhere where I want to apply my eyeshadow and just treating this as if it was my eyeshadow. This is such a good base. You can see how highly pigmented this is. I don't like to use the pens that I like to use for eyeliner for this because I find that this kind of consistency works the best for this step. So once the eye is looking like this, I'm just using this kind of applicator brush to blend it a little, get it set in place, just make sure that it looks a little more consistent. This has helped me so much because it just makes your eye appear so much whiter and brighter. This sometimes looks messy, you kind of have to trust the process with this one, but I feel like as soon as you blend it out, it really comes together. You can also apply that underneath your lower lash line or on your waterline. And then I just like to use my fingers to just blend it on the edges a little more. So now you already have a great base for an eye makeup look. Because this can smudge kind of easily, I like to use a white eyeshadow to just keep it in place. I'm using my Love Child Beauty palette, and I like to use this color, which is called the White Rabbit. Just going over it a couple of times. You could also use like a translucent powder for this, but I just like the white eyeshadow because it helps make the eye even brighter. I feel like, at least for me, this is the whitest I get my eyes, and I really like it. I think it is a very nice look. It feels really nice on the eyelids, don't worry. This kind of Kohl Kajal doesn't feel heavy at all. It's a nice subtle feeling, but it's just a great 60s look. So next up is the cut crease. There are a couple ways to do this. Sometimes I like to use a brown eyeliner like this one, but I actually usually prefer to go with an eyeshadow. I am using this kind of brush, which actually is a lip pencil, and then I like to use this. I think it's just a preference of color. You can use whatever eyeshadow you have, but this one is just the perfect shade of brown to me. I use this almost every day. I know it doesn't look like it, but you just don't need a lot for the cut crease. So I think I explained the cut crease so many times. Basically it's all about practicing. I didn't know anything about makeup before starting to dress 60s and starting to do my makeup like this a couple of years ago. So it really comes to you with time. But there are some tips that I can share. So the first one is to always keep your eye open. And then I always start on the inside, kind of here. I just imagine a line around my eye. So I always go with my natural eye shape. Just starting in the middle here. Going up. And one thing that sometimes helps, depending on how you like to do it, is to also make a dot down here where you want it to end, a little above the place where you want it to end. And then you can kind of like connect the two. I think my biggest tip would be to keep it light in the beginning until you find the shape that you like. So now that I do have that outline, I'm going in with a little more product and just kind of filling it in. And that is one eye done. One thing that I always say is that you will probably never get these to be perfectly symmetrical, but that's okay. Your eyes aren't symmetrical, your face isn't even symmetrical. So I always like to go with the shape of the eye. Just doing the same thing on the other side. I don't know why I'm so shaky today. Usually I don't hold the mirror, I just go in front of the mirror, so it's a little easier. You can also do these with black eyeshadow or black eyeliner. I just find it being very harsh, and the more typical 60s look was to do brown. And I'm blending that out as well. And then when I'm done with both, I'm just making sure that the middle points are kind of on the same level, that my blended parts are on the same level, that they're kind of the same width. These are a little thicker. I also like thinner ones, but that's generally what I do. Next up is eyeliner. I feel like with eyeliner, there are so many different kinds. I like the ones in the pod. I also do like the kohl ones. I just find that they smudge a lot. So the one that works the best for me are the kinds that have a felt tip. I prefer those. And what I do with my 60s eyeliner is it's all about the wing basically. So you don't want to make it too thick, but the most important part is the wing, because while the 50s eyeliner was winged in a very outwards kind of way, in this kind of like C shape, the 60s eyeliner is more facing down, enhancing the natural eye shape. So I'm just starting with like a regular eyeliner. Slowly building it up. And then when I'm at the end, I'm just pulling it down. With a very light hand, I draw a little wing, and then that's it. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye. The second eye always gives me a little bit of anxiety, but you can do it. And just like that, this bit is also done. Next up, let's talk about 1960s lashes. So the eyelashes were really kind of the star of the show when it came to 1960s makeup. People liked big eyelashes. I said the very doll-like look was on trend. So I personally do a little two-step kind of thing. I'm starting with this mascara. I kind of got it a little more recently. A friend of mine actually recommended this to me. It is great. I don't know if you can get it in the States or wherever you live. I can just recommend you this, and I'm just gonna say all the products that I'm using are drugstore products beside the Love Child Beauty palette, and they're all very inexpensive. So you can definitely do this with drugstore makeup. So I'm starting just doing my lashes. You could also curl your lashes first. I decided not to today, and I usually don't because it kind of freaks me out. Just doing those. Starting with the upper lash line, making sure that I get it all the way to the inner corner of my eye. And then I'm also doing the lower lash line to kind of prep it for what's to come. Okay, and now it is time for my favorite part, which is the so-called twiggy lashes. So mine are a little different to what I see most people doing who are attempting 60s makeup right now. Most people like to draw them on. I personally don't really like that look. I think it looks great on others, but for me personally, in my everyday life, I like to go with eyelash extensions. There are some pictures of Shelley Duvall, I'm just gonna put them up here, where she has this kind of makeup look, and I think it looks so dreamy. Basically, in the 1960s, the lower lash line was a very prominent part of the eye makeup look, and I think it just goes to show that the doll makeup was just so popular because with the cut crease, it kind of opens your eyes, gives it a bigger illusion, and then you're also accentuating the lower lash line, which helps not making the upper lashes the kind of end of your eye. And now you can hear that I live quite close to a church. So I like to get these single lashes. You can also get regular ones and just cut them. I just like to use these, and I found a pretty quick way to do it. So I am taking 4 per size. It's just what works best for my eye. Go with however many you like. And I am starting by just putting 4 of these on the back of my hand, kind of like this. And the important thing is to put them facing down so that the shape, this kind of shape going down, is on your hand like this. So I just put them on, 4 at the time for one eye. As said, you don't have to do it like this, it's just the quickest way. And then I'm taking out the little glue off its compartment, and then I just kind of brush the glue over it. So I'm just going to show you a little close-up. Just kind of brushing it on like this. You need to clean your hands after this, but it is very worth it because it saves a lot of time. Not having to put glue on each one and then letting it dry. And now you just honestly have to be a little quick. So I usually start either on the inner or the outer corner. Let's do the inner. And then I'm putting it below my natural lashes. I like to use my fingers, I find it easier. I'm going in with tweed. Then I'm doing my outer lashes next. Through the storm. And I'm just placing the 2 that are left in the middle. And that's actually it. That's all you need to do. I'm just going to do that on the other eye, and then we can move on to the rest of the look. I'm just going to zoom you in as much as possible for this one. Hanging on through the winter. So now that the eyes are done, the next step is blush. I used to always use my tinted lip balm as blush too. The only issue that I have with it is that it very much sinks into the skin over the day. So basically after like an hour of wearing, it is barely noticeable. So I went out the other day and bought a blush. I bought a very pinky kind, and this one that's a little more reddish. And I just go by the outfits, and so this outfit definitely has some more red, so I'm just gonna go with this color. I'm keeping it rather simple with the blush here. Basically I just do little dots and then I blend them in. So I think with 60s blush it's more about the placement. So I do one right by the eye and then kind of down here. So this is like the placement that I do. Sort of like this. And then I'm just using my fingers to tap it in a little. You could also use a brush or something to set it. I just really love how it looks when you do it with your finger. In both sides, always tap in back and forth in that area, making sure that it is pretty even. I feel like this side needs a little more compared to the other side. 60s blush sits quite high compared to other blushes. Putting it right on, like apple of the cheek. Okay, I like that. And then I also like to do a little bit, you have to be careful not to overdo this, on the tip of my nose. Just the littlest, tiniest bit. And then last but not least is lips. So the 60s lip, kind of like the cheek, also is all about a very pinky kind of look. I personally like these tinted lip balms the best, just because they're a little more subtle, they're a little more natural, and I just really love the color. I feel like nowadays people also like to overline their lips. The 60s weren't about that. Just follow your natural lip shape. And this is the finished makeup look. I really love it. I have been doing this look for the past couple of years. I don't wear makeup every single day, but whenever I do, this is pretty much what I love to do. I will experiment with the color, but all in all, I really love this. I think this is a great base, whether you're just starting out or you just want to have a new twist on your 1960s makeup.
There's a coat of snow over Brooklyn, and the people seem concerned. Should be expected for that northeastern city. Thought by now they would have learned, but they don their coats, put on their slick talk, and bundle up in their pride. 'Cause a coat of snow.
So that's it for today's video. That's it for my 1960s everyday makeup routine. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love you to give it a thumbs up and maybe even share it with a friend. It supports me, it supports the channel, and it would mean a lot. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go out, enjoy the sunshine, take yourself some time to focus on you and your mental health today, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye everybody!
If you can't see